Welcome to another edition of the Cook and the Coach podcast. I'm Beza. I'm the coach.
I'm Kenny. I'm the cook. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Again, like you said, every week, there's crazy shit happening, like literally every single day.
It's just
Our brains aren't meant to handle this, man. It's insane.
We never.
Just today we had Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Kamala Harris today, VP for Joe Biden.
Yep.
Apparently Trump was like, fuck the Democrats. I'm going to give everyone their money.
Oh, yeah, he did another executive order.
For reform. Beirut, next big explosion.
One of the craziest explosions I've ever seen in my life. That was insane.
It was like a fifth the size of Hiroshima or something like that. Something just astronomical.
Yeah, dude. I haven't looked into it too much, but I saw one of the main videos, and it was unreal. Because
you see on fire, you're like, oh yeah, that's like pretty bad. And then you see the actual explosion, you're like, holy shit.
It's really scary. I was hearing that like from miles away, like the impact like immediately got to them. Like it was like no time. It was just spreading like crazy. Yeah, there's some wild videos from that, dude.
College football's canceled.
Oh my gosh, I didn't hear that.
That's like what probably one of them. It probably makes just as much money as like the NBA and NFL is college football. Like that's like a multi-billion-dollar revenue.
Wow.
Like company.
You were pretty certain that it wouldn't. You were pretty certain that it would come back. You were like, just wait. The college football industry is strong, but they're not coming back. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
I was wrong.
Dang. That sucks.
Every day, man, something crazy. Some new shit. Some crazy shit.
Dang. Yeah, it sucks. On a more positive note, we are talking pop music this episode.
We are. We have our we'll introduce some later on the episode, but
yeah,
our resident Taylor Swift expert, Taylor Mueller, will be joining us. And then our friend Sally, our first-time guest, will be joining us as well to discuss our Queen and Savior, Taylor Swift, and the album she recently just put out. So with my coaching segments, I think I'm going to get more specific with it. Like, I think I'm going to, like, people have been saying, like, hey, like, we like what you're doing, but maybe talk more about, like, actual, like, specific, like, coaching, like, advice when it comes to, like, working on stuff. So I guess I'll be kind of the start of that today. So I hurt my knee jet skiing a couple weeks ago, so I haven't been able to squat or deadlift really. So I've been mostly focusing on bench press and perfecting that technique. And people are wondering, like what's the key to a good bench press? And I think it might actually surprise a lot of people when it comes to working out your upper body is you should always be working out your back just as much, if not more, than your chest. Like if you want to get like a really big bench, like honestly, the key is working your mid back and your lats. That's going to help you a ton. I know for me personally, I started doing like back days, like twice as much as I was the last like 2-3 years. And my bench press like shot up by like 30-35 pounds just from doing more back work alone. So
that's crazy.
Yes, your chest is like the main muscle being worked there, but as we talk about in strength and conditioning, like the posterior side of your body is what is the driver of everything, right? So when you're running, when you're jumping, it's your glutes, it's your hamstrings, it's your QL and your back. And then when you're doing upper body movements, when you're trying to do a push movement or a pull movement, like yes, your pec is involved in the push, but your back is involved in both the push and the pull. Right. So it's very, very critical to keep working your back. I would even say try to do two back movements to every chest movement you do. Because it's that important. So people want to give like a little like secret sauce on how I improve your bench press. Work your lats.
Damn. I love it. I'm going to jump in for my cooking segment. So this is in the spirit of people moving in to new apartments or, graduating college and going into their first place. There's a lot of leases happening right now. And a lot of people are thinking, like, what do I need to get for cooking equipment? Like, what's the essential, like, bare bones stuff? And one of the things that people are talking about a lot is like what types of knives they want to get or how many knives. And I've been talking with some of my siblings about this because they're in a similar situation. It's so important to just have a couple good knives. People don't need the special like knife sets, the knife blocks with all of like the shitty like $5 a piece knives. Like, here's the thing: like, spend $50 on one 6 to 8 inch chef's knife, and spend like $25 on a serrated knife or less. And that's really, you'll be set for like years if you take care of it. Like, it's dangerous to have cheap knives. Don't have cheap knives. They're bad. I have scars on my hands from doing dumb cuts with cheap knives. It's like, it's not worth it. Like, it is dangerous to not to use a more proper knife that's sharp, but like the weight is consistent. The weight, the nicer of a knife you get, the weight will be more consistently spread through. You'll be able to handle it better. It's sharper, so it'll last longer. Oftentimes the metal will be more durable, so it doesn't get dull as quickly. A dull knife is super dangerous, and cheap knives are made of shitty metal that get dull easily, and so it's easy for you to lose like fingers. So if you want to keep your fingers, if you want to stay under budget, just buy one 6 to 8 inch chef's knife. I would say for around maybe $50. The one I got was like a J.A. Henkel's, I want to say. But I can message people specific examples. But one of those, one 6 to 8 inch chef's knife, and one serrated knife for things like bread and stuff like that. And then butter knives if you need that. But that's it. So yeah, that's one of many move-in tips. But I think that'll be a good starter for people. Like, a chef's knife is crucial. So look for one of those, and message me if you have questions about which type to get. Oh, also,
I love it.
Also, a bit of a tangent, but a really fun side note. At I work on the weekends at Union Hmong Kitchen in Northeast Minneapolis. Couple fun updates about that. First thing, we finally announced the location of our brick and mortar restaurant that's going to be opening up, hopefully in like early spring of next year of 2021. So that restaurant's going to be called Vinai. Chef Yia Vang is like the executive chef, owner of it. It's going to be super exciting. So it's going to be in Northeast Minneapolis. All the details are in like Star Tribune, I think City Pages. It was kind of all over the place. And speaking of City Pages, shout out to Chef Yia Vang. He was just voted the Twin Cities best chef for 2020. They do like yearly votes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That's
so
huge.
shout out to him. He's awesome. No one deserves it more. So yeah, shout out to him. And yeah, everyone who's in the cities or coming to visit, check out Union Hmong Kitchen while it's still that, and before we move to the real place, and then come to that place
see
too.
Ken. Go get
Yeah,
some food from Ken.
whipping it up. I work weekends, so come through. It's really good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it. Guys, we love you. Please stay tuned for this episode. We have a great, fun, entertaining conversation about Folklore, the new album from Taylor Swift. And yeah, here it is. Check it out.
Here comes Taylor. There we go. Awesome. All right. Hopefully
I'm not going to lie, for a second, I was like, how the frick did you get Taylor Swift to join me on this podcast?
Oh, here she comes. Hey, Taylor.
Hello.
I had that feeling for like a half sec too when I saw like Taylor wants to join me. I was like,
yes.
Oh my God, Swift? The Taylor Swift? How the hell? Thanks for doing this, guys. I appreciate it. Baze, do you want to introduce the guests for everybody?
Yes. Guys, coming back to this show is our residential Swiftie and all things Taylor Swift commentator, Taylor Mueller. And also, for the first time to the show, Sally. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm sorry.
Keckeisen.
There we go. That's it.
Welcome.
Both of you, thank you for coming on the show and talking about our Queen Savior with us this morning. I have several thoughts on this album. But I want to get your perspectives first. So Taylor, how about you start off and let us know what you thought of the whole album as a collective?
As a collective. Hang on, I don't know. He's gonna have to be on calls and stuff. So oh, that was loud. I was super surprised by it. when she kind of said that she was having an album, posted everything on Instagram. Her pictures were way different than what they've been in the past. And she changed it up last time too with Reputation. And so she just did a whole nother like personality change as well. So I was actually really excited about it. I was kind of sad that I wasn't going through like, it was a badass phase with Reputation, and now it's like a really heavy like emotional state. And I was like, wow, like out of all the times in my life I have to like not be going through something. But it's been really beautiful so far, and I listen to it when I go on walks and bike rides, and I feel like I'm just like very connected to everything around me because of the tone and the nature of everything. So I really love it so far. My favorite song is The One and Peace.
Yes, The One is so good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think it's because it's a little bit more upbeat too. So it still has like the classic Taylor Swift vibes to everything, but
nice. That's funny that you're like, damn it, my life is great. Like, life is good. Why can't I connect to this album better? God damn it.
I was like, I can't wait till I have like a bad day at work in the fall or the winter, and I can come home and just lay on my bed and look at the ceiling and just have like Taylor Swift blasting in my ears.
Right.
There you go.
My sister loves Taylor Swift, and she was showing me all of these TikToks of people like pretending it was the fall and curling up in a blanket and drinking coffee and listening to it. Even though it's the middle
that's
of
exactly
summer.
what I'm gonna do.
Yep, pretty much. The One is a great song, by the way. I love The One.
Oh, it's amazing.
Sally, what about you? Let's hear your just like initial thoughts. What do you think about it?
My initial thoughts were, why am I in a healthy and happy relationship right now?
Right.
Very sad. I was like, I'm supposed to be getting my heart broken by Hinge Boys right now.
Right.
Why am I stable? So that was my initial thought. And then my second thought was, oh no, did her and Joe Elwyn break up?
Yep.
Before I did research, I was panicking that her and Joe had broken up. Like,
did they? I have no idea. Now I'm like, this is suspenseful.
No,
we'll have to talk about. I did lots of research after listening to the album.
All right.
Because The One made like, my initial thought was, oh my gosh, like we just saw Miss Americana, the doc, and then the first song on the album is The One, and you're like, no, not during quarantine.
No.
We thought our queen had finally found the one, and if the one is about him, I was very sad. But
well, let's talk about it. Are they still together? What's the deal? What's the latest? I have no idea.
It's never in the tabloids. They don't talk about them. They don't post. But I did some research, and from what my limited resources told me was the album is based on the woman she bought her Nashville home from, and the love triangle that she was in.
Interesting.
So the whole album is the story from the three different perspectives: the guy who cheated, the girl he was cheating with, and the one he was in a relationship with.
Really?
And the one, yes.
Ah, yeah.
So,
oh my God, I just got chills down my entire body.
Yes. So Betty, so the woman she bought her house from, her name was Betty, and Mad Woman is from the perspective of Betty moving. Like, it's a whole, so each song is from a different perspective.
Interesting.
Also, I forgot about Mad Woman. Holy cow, that song gets me going.
Oh, it's so good. The girl power is just astronomical.
It's unreal.
Mad Woman reminded me of some of the themes from Lover, I believe. Like it had like a similar vibe a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit, I thought. I don't know.
I thought it was dark. Mad Woman is one of the darker songs, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
it made more of like a maybe not like the musicality of it, but lyrically, I thought it was way closer to Reputation.
Oh, interesting.
Lover.
I agree with that for sure.
I agree with Kenny. I thought like the vibe, not if you take out the lyrics, like the tones and the vibe of the song is very like lover like. But if you think about the words only, then it's like, ooh, girlfriend, you pissed off.
Yeah.
Look out.
Yeah. Let's talk about the tone of it a little bit, because that was something that really caught me off guard. I was expecting something that sounded more poppy, that sounded like more produced, and I guess sparkly, it would be a word that I would have anticipated. But it seemed to me the album was very like, had a very acoustic feel. It was very like soft in a lot of ways. So like, what did you guys think about that?
Listen,
Beza, we know you got opinions about this.
I think this album could have not dropped at a worse time. Like lower tone.
The difference of opinions start.
Listen, I'm sitting in the car, right? The first time I listened to the album, the very first time, right? I'm in the car, got my phone up, got my Starbucks drink, I'm ready to go, right? Mm-hmm. It's 90 degrees. I'm blasting the AC. I'm trying not to die. You know, it's middle of the day. It's summer, right? It's summer.
Yeah.
This is not a summer album at all whatsoever. This is a fall, like October, early November. I got like flannel on. I got like a hot chocolate in my hand, like vibe. This is not a summertime pandemic riots type of album. This was a very, very poorly timed album, which is why.
So you think this is a mistake that she dropped it when she did?
The biggest mistake.
Ooh, I heavily disagree.
Yeah, me too.
Why do you disagree, Sally? Tell me why.
I disagree because, like, I have to remind myself, I can only speak for myself. I have to remind myself often that we're in August. I still think we're in March sometime. The only thing that tells me it's August is that it's hot. Mm-hmm. It still feels like, as far as tone right now, still feels very gloomy, very cold. It could be raining every day and I wouldn't be surprised. So like when she dropped the album and I listened, I was like, of course you wrote this during a pandemic. Like, of course, you know, you went to that dark place. And honestly, I felt like pretty appreciative because I was like, it's sunny outside, but this has hit my soul.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition of it all.
Yes.
Okay. I think she released it like in April. Granted, it wasn't done by then, but if it was like released in April, I think I would have liked it a lot more. Since like, you know, this whole summertime with riots, protests, explosions in Beirut, like people are still dying from the pandemic. This seems like, I don't want to hear about your boy problems right now. Like this is not the time. Granted, you know, obviously the songs were written from different perspectives and stuff like that, but I don't know. I will say this though, to give her credit, this is an album where you have to listen with like headphones in. I made a mistake of listening to it with a speaker, you know, in the car.
Yeah.
No. You need to hear all the minute details in the production. Yeah. Like, even though there wasn't a lot of like pop production, it was like over the top. It was very, very subtle things she did with, you know, whether it's background vocals or with, you know, something she did with the guitar. You have to hear that with the audio, with the earbuds in. When I listen to it with earbuds in, I like the album much, much more because I could hear all those small details and I appreciate it a lot more. So,
yeah, when Lover came out last summer, it felt like you could listen to that all day long, windows down, driving around in the summer. This feels like Taylor Swift has a way of making her entire album an experience. So this feels like you're supposed to be like in a quiet space with your headphones in, staring out the window, wondering what it would look like for you to be in the music video. You know, like we're bringing it back to middle school a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
Now that you said that, it kind of gave me like 15 vibes.
Yeah.
Of like walking through the school hallways, just kind of like being in your own head and being like, okay, this is my day. This is how this is gonna go. Whoa, that just brought me to like a different experience.
Damn.
15 came out like this summer before my freshman year of high school.
Yeah, me too.
So I remember listening to 15. I was so dramatic. listening to 15 as I walked into my first day of high school, ready to make some senior fall in love with me. I was not the popular kid, so I don't know what I was thinking.
I did the exact same thing. And then I met this boy that winter at this ice skating rink who turned out to be a senior at my high school.
Dang.
And he gave me the time of day for like a day. And then he found out I was a freshman.
Yeah.
And then I, of course, being the loser that I was, would basically like chase him around the school all day, like trying to figure out how I could bump into him.
Puppy love, you know? What are you
What
supposed
a
to
love
do with
story,
it?
right?
What a love story. That's amazing. The song Betty kind of reminded me of older Taylor Swift, or I guess younger Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. There's something about it. It
Yeah.
was very storytellery, and I don't know. It almost sounded a little country to me.
So what made
Well,
you think that then? I'm curious, because I agree, but also sorry to cut you off, Beza.
Oh no, I was
Oh, no
thinking.
worries.
I don't know. I think it was just like there was like an interpersonal conflict that was being resolved. There was like it sounded a little bit as a. Sorry, I just saw like a. I'm outside and I just saw a mouse walk by and that kind of freaked me out. Anyways, it might have been a mole. Hard to say. Anyways, we're back on track. It had just a bit of a country sound to me. I don't know. It had like 3 or 4 verses, and so it like you like unfold the story throughout. It had a key change. Younger Taylor Swift used a lot of key changes, I feel like, so that reminded me of it. So I don't know. That just gave me that vibe.
I'm wondering if you guys had any opinions. I immediately went to, so do you guys remember when Taylor like released her first 2 albums? Everyone was saying like there's no way she's carrying weight in these writing sessions. So the next like 4 albums that she wrote were all by herself. Everything was just her, where she wrote all the music, all the lyrics. So when Folklore came out and I saw that there were all of these like written with, I was like, I felt maybe she's finally secure and it does. Okay, I've proved myself already. Now I'd really like to write with these legends.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And like
That's
that felt like that felt almost like a maturity thing, I
could
guess.
see that.
Okay, I proved myself. I really just want to write with Bon Iver. Like
I
Right.
think
Yeah.
part of it too has to do with the fact that she's not under
the label.
Machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that has a huge part to do with it. And it's like before she could only do so much to show who she was, and that was lyrically, and everything else wasn't on her because it was so controlled by, I think, Scooter Braun, right? Is that how you say
Well,
his name?
Scooter bought
Shout out Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
Scooter. Oh no.
Bought
Beza.
her.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh
no.
God.
So I think it's kind of like she, like you're saying, like she finally feels really secure in who she is because she doesn't have someone else like saying, actually, no, sorry, you're not good enough to do that type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I think that I'm looking at the main 2 people that she wrote with, and I think it's Aaron Dessner and Jack Antonoff, and I think they were also the 2 main producers. And
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she wrote some stuff with them on the last album as well.
Love
And I
her.
think,
She
right?
did, yeah. Jack
Right.
had
I
a
think
big
they were
part in
like
the
really
album.
working really closely together. But yeah, I could
think they
definitely see
helped
that.
with the music part, but I think the lyrics for like everything after Fearless was all her.
Interesting. Okay. Gotcha. That's cool.
You
Jack
might
was
have
more
to,
so production.
you have to fact check me. Definitely don't just like take what I say as
Oh, yeah.
truth.
I'm looking at Genius right now, and some of them will say like written by like Jack Antonoff and Taylor Swift. So I think there's
Okay.
a decent number of those. But
I know
mean,
he was like incremental in Me.
oh yeah.
Like, yeah, because have you guys seen the doc?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Miss Americana, she's like doing it on the piano and she's like, it sounds too sad. And he is like in the background, like, okay, well, let's make it sound not sad. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
so I think he was like
Nice.
huge in like putting Lover together.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. We should talk Scooter Braun. I'm so excited just to see, because everyone has visceral reactions to it. Who wants to talk
We talked
shit
about
or celebrate? We talked a little bit about it last time Taylor was on. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Any
Love
updates?
to get other people's opinions. because I haven't had this conversation. Beza and I just fight about these things. So it's really fun to have new people who maybe I can get someone to my side.
Well,
What
I
if
don't
it
have a
was
strong
Scooter?
opinion. I really I've heard that he's screwed over Taylor Swift, but I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I don't have hate
Business is
for him in my
business.
heart. Yeah, he pays like business is business.
Business is business.
I don't know.
He saw
I
opportunity.
totally
very
disagree
famous.
with that.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Business is never
I
just
didn't say he was a good
business.
person. I respect the business move. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation. I
I'm not
remember.
saying he's an upstanding citizen. He's an opportunity as a businessman, and he took it.
Yeah, I don't know. Would it be fair to say that Taylor Swift agreed to like an unfair business deal, and then that business deal has been continued on? Would that be fair to say?
As do all artists do. Every artist gets ripped off at some point. That's just part of the game.
But that is
I
shitty.
just really think that that's not cool though. Like when we say,
yeah.
it's just what it is, or that's just part of the game, that just completely.
Some people made it out. Some people didn't. Taylor didn't make it out right.
That just shuts down the fact that it's a broken system.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No.
It is a broken system, but what are you gonna do?
Right,
Play
but when
about
you
it, try to
just
move
like,
forward.
like it's fine, whatever. You just are like allowing that system to continue.
I didn't say it's fine. I just said this is the reality of it.
But isn't it is what it is, like almost synonymous with Like, what are you
say
gonna do?
Point.
The record industry has been broken for business-wise for the past 20, 30 years. You know,
I mean, let's be honest, the world is
kind
kind of broken.
For sure.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
But, you know, specifically in the music industry, the way business is done is ripped off artists for, you know, a few decades now. And Taylor was ushered into, you know, that old way of doing things. Now in 2020, artists have a lot more freedom. They have a lot more options of how they can make money, how they can be independent. And Taylor, you know, rightfully so, wanted to become more independent and stuff, but she was also had lots of financial and legal ties to that old system. So for her, it's harder to break out of that. I want to see her break out of it. I really do, but screw Braun, saw his opportunity, took it. So she signed
Sally
the
and I are
contract.
like
this
shaking in our
she
chairs
signed
right
to
now.
that label.
Go in. I want to hear the other side.
Taylor, you go first.
I mean, you guys know my perspective from last time, but you can bleep me out, right?
Yeah, we won't.
Like
but,
So whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, it's just fucked up. It's honestly just fucked up. Like, and especially being a woman and watching her go through that and growing up with her and like literally feeling like I'm her best friend, even though I'm not. The way that she writes her music, you feel like you are a part of her life. And so that makes me want to fight for her even more, because I have been with her since she started writing music and she's gotten me through so much random shit in my life. It just really like kind of pulls at my heartstrings when something bad happens to her. And I know we all have people like that, but watching her go through all of the bullshit with Scooter Braun, I hate him. I don't. Every time I see him in like a documentary, or like he works with Demi Lovato and Justin Bieber, and I'm just like, oh God, like please stop working with him. And I get it. It's the music industry. He's super talented.
Scooter Braun doesn't get qualified immunity. Like just because you're nice to a bunch of people doesn't mean you weren't terrible to one. Like,
exactly. And
he
that's
doesn't
why
get
it's like,
that.
no. And I just don't. I don't like him as a person from what I've seen. Obviously, again, never interacted with either one of these human beings in my life, nor will I. But based on, I mean, people could say the same thing about me, like based on what they see on social media, like they could be like, oh, I don't like her. And
I think
it's just,
I think an important point to make, and this is a conversation that Beza and I have gotten into it about a little bit, but when she dropped Reputation, I remember saying to people, listen, if Taylor Swift is as kind as everyone says she is, like spite is an amazing motivator, and I just like am here for the clap back. Like go off.
It's good fuel.
Right? But then I was like, but if she is a snake and she's like shady and doing all these things, she's an incredible businesswoman. So like I
So-
prefer her to be the good person who's like been wronged by all these people and do the spite thing.
Sure.
But then I can also swing to the other side with Beza and be like, if she's a snake, she's an incredible businesswoman.
Mm.
So I think like weighing those two things and wondering, okay, like which is it?
Yeah.
And that being said, I do feel like she's probably a kind person who can't be bullied into submission. And because of that, she gets a lot of flack in an industry that hates her success.
Mm.
But they depend on it. They hate her success
sure.
and they depend on it. So like,
Do you think the industry hates it, or do you think like there's like a few powerful people who hate it, like such as Scooter Braun, for example?
I think a few powerful people, but the few like they're the strings who
Yeah.
hold the puppets.
Mm.
And when she released, like, she's very calculated. This is like, that's not a new thing.
Sure.
When she released the letter, when she like said nothing during the Reputation era, when all of the stuff went down at the AMAs and she got to sing her stuff, like all of that to me appears as spite. Like, I'm just going to do these things to spite you and you can't bully me into not doing the thing.
That's fair. Scooter Braun looks like he like always just ate like 3 meatball subs and then just rushed to get wherever he was.
Well, let's not like attack someone's appearance.
Well, those are things he
No,
could
we can't.
fix.
Let's
He
do
could
it.
he could
I'm all
improve
about
that,
it.
you know.
He can
I'm standing
improve
up for
his appearance.
Taylor right now, you know. This is how I stand up for Taylor Swift.
Right, but you know, maybe not
It's fine.
there.
No.
We have people on the show. It's all right. What I will say about Scooter, here's my thing about the Scooter Braun situation. And this is because people made the same case for Megan Thee Stallion with her old record label and stuff. This is what I don't understand. If an artist signs a contract, they should be aware of all the things and possibilities that could come from as a result from signing that contract. Taylor Swift signed a big machine. What?
Do you read all of the contracts you've signed every time you download an app? Do you read
terms
all
and
of the
conditions.
contracts?
Yeah, terms and conditions.
Of course
base.
not.
You don't
But
read
these
terms and conditions.
but these aren't multi-million-dollar deals I'm signing.
Right. But if someone is handing your dream to you on a platter, Taylor Swift was only with that record label because she signed on for 10 years when she was 15.
Yeah, that's wild.
When someone is handing your dream to you on a platter and they say they're going to do all these things for you, and all of these advisors are telling you to do it, how are you supposed to know any better at 15?
You're not.
You're not.
But she signed a contract. Doesn't matter. She signed a contract.
Yeah, okay, Base, you're right. She should know. So a little bit of it has got to be like on her, but also I totally agree with them. I keep on thinking of John Oliver things where it's talking about something where people got tricked into agreeing to some awful arrangement, like whether it's like real estate or anything else, and then they're just screwed for like decades. And it's, I don't know, people only have so much time to do that.
I'm not making a case that she didn't get screwed. I'm just saying she signed a legal contract, and as a result for that, she got screwed.
Yeah.
I do. Like, why is Scooter Braun at fault for that, of a contract that she signed?
Scooter Braun isn't at fault. And honestly, I don't think Scooter Braun is even at fault for buying Big Machine Records. It's Scott. Like, Scott and Taylor made promises of like, I'll stay with you as long as you're ahead. And when her 6th studio album came out.
Was that in writing, though?
It doesn't matter. A contract is still a contract if it's verbal.
Matter.
It does.
Like, did he pinky promise or like what happened?
But you can make verbal contracts. Like, verbal contracts are still binding. I mean, it's silly not to get proof. That's true. But verbal contracts are still binding. What I'm trying to say is I think we're so quick to like side with it was business. It is what it is. What can you do? When like we're leaving out the compassion and empathy part of she got handed her dream. Right. She trusted Scott. They decided this together. Scooter, whether like this is accurate, is he like him and the people that work for him were not very kind to Taylor pre-Reputation. And that is like seen on social media. There's receipts for that. So like when Scooter bought this. I don't think it's necessarily Scooter Braun's fault. I think maybe he was just being a jerk.
Sure.
But I can have empathy and compassion for Taylor, who was like, I trusted you, Scott. What the heck?
Yeah.
Right.
And then she's held to something that she never wanted.
Right. Do you think that Taylor will ever have all of her music? She'll own all of it? Do you think that'll ever happen?
One day, yes. Not for a while. But I think one day, yes.
I think it'll be a decade later. I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
I agree with that.
Unless they're just willing to let her buy it. She has plenty of money.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
Not that much.
Wait, Pace, what? How does she not? Wouldn't she?
She has like 6 houses.
I know
Yeah,
people who make less than $1 million a year who have $1 million houses.
Her net worth
her net worth. Well, net worth is not what people are actually worth, but if I had to guess, she's around the $350 to $400 million range. Not liquid, of course, but that's what, per assets and everything. Her music is like probably, I don't know what it would be, but just to buy outright, I don't think she has the money for that. Just to buy outright, she doesn't have that kind of money.
Interesting.
As much as I'd like to believe she could, but no.
Dang.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like touring can be like so lucrative, but yeah, maybe you're right because it could be like really expensive. I think that someday she'll get it. That's what I would like to think, but I don't know when that'll happen.
Yeah, one day, but not right now.
$80 million a year just off of her music.
Yeah, and that's not including like merch and stuff.
That's wild.
But she has also pay out a lot of people though. Like a lot.
Yeah, which is why, and she tried to negotiate to pay them out, and they said no. And so I think it's going to be more of like a power control thing of like, I still have this over you, and I'm not going to let that go.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. Yeah, it's that's a tough one. We have only we have like 9 minutes left. Do we want to talk like favorite tracks on the album and then kind of just wrap up with
we got a little distracted.
Oh no, that's okay. No, this is the type of stuff we want to talk about. That's all good.
Let me pull up the album real quick. I was
gonna say, Sally, you haven't shared your opinion on it yet because I took over that.
So before we go track for track, really quickly, what would you rank this album out of 10? And then where you think it lies as far as like best album? Is it the middle of the pack? Is it lower tier? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
I feel like you can't even compare her albums.
Yeah.
Like Reputation versus Lover versus Folklore, they are completely different. They sound completely different.
Doesn't mean you can't compare them.
I know, but it depends on what person in each of them. If like I'm Screw the Man, Reputation's my favorite album of all time. If I'm like just got dumped, I'm gonna want to listen to Folklore. And if like, it's summertime, it's 90 degrees, windows down, rolling my arm out the window looking like a dork.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been doing.
I want Lover. So I don't know. I feel like
you're saying it's all about the mood.
It's about the mood.
Yeah.
Like
it's about the season in your
beautiful
life.
Day and I'm in love, I'm not going to be listening to Folklore.
Even if it's a great song, you're not in the mood for that. It's not going to be your favorite. You wouldn't even rank it as high as you might because you're not in the mood for it.
Well, if I got into a fight with my boyfriend, let's listen to the one.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Let's listen to Mad Woman.
That's fair. I loved the one.
Album.
Really, Base?
You think it's her worst?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Is it still like an overall pretty good album? Maybe. Yeah, sure. I can rock with that. But like as far as compared to other bodies of work, nah, bro. Nah.
I think I just got tears in my eyes because of that.
Damn. Is it because there just was less production that went into it? Oh no, are you crying? Damn. Base, what have you done?
Taylor's like, do not talk about my namesake like that.
Base, how could you? These are our guests.
Lover.
You're making them cry.
Lover was a step off in the wrong direction. Still liked it a lot. Still loved the album, but it was okay, but it's not going anywhere past this as far as like drop off. And then she dropped off again with this. I'm like, oh no. And then she drops off again. I might be getting really, really concerned about her. So it's just
think you just
strike number
liked
two for me
Reputation a lot.
Yeah.
I think Reputation was just more your style. This sounds like a style issue, not an actual musical issue.
No,
I think we need to
it's a
get
musical
Beza
issue.
in love with someone and then have them break his heart so he can feel both albums.
I heard he's looking to be on The Bachelor, so.
Ooh, true. We gotta get him on that shit. This is some Machiavellian plan.
GC, reach out. Come holler at me.
If you were on The Bachelor, I would actually watch it. I would be like, let's see.
I would make great
TV.
TV.
This week. You would make great
TV.
I would make great TV.
I would think it'd be a great time.
Instead of roses, you can just vote girls off the island.
Yeah.
Just be 100%. Like, you don't like this Taylor Swift song, Dancing with Our Hands Tied? How dare you? Get off.
Get off.
Beat it, bitch.
Damn.
Beat it. Except I would not vote for you. You called a woman a bitch.
Ooh.
Beza.
I apologize.
Come on, man.
You're right. I need to check my male privilege. Anyway, so best song on the album, in your opinion? Best song on the album?
I can go first. I'll say The One was definitely like got me into the album, and it might be my favorite, but I'll say that I think I keep coming back to Seven. I really like Seven a lot. Seven and Invisible String. Those are two that I really just keep listening to.
The One is my favorite song, for sure.
Same.
It gets you into the album. I also love Invisible String, and Mad Woman, just like lyrically, is one of my favorites.
Definitely.
Sally, I think you and I should be friends because my thoughts are the exact same.
I'm here for it.
You're just like, agreed. Like,
yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Well, were there any music videos that came out for this or no? I haven't seen anything for it.
Cardigan.
For Cardigan. Did you guys like Cardigan? Because that's one of the most popular songs.
Really
sent cardigans to people and they were like dancing around in their houses with their cardigan on from her, and I was like, wow, to be one of the people that received a cardigan from Taylor Swift.
Damn.
I haven't seen the music video though.
I haven't seen it either, but I just loved that she like sent cardigans to people.
Well done. Well shot.
Well shot music video base?
Yeah, really well shot. She did her own makeup apparently for it too.
Oh, just because of the pandemic.
What a queen.
Best work.
Interesting.
She is a queen.
I have to say, my favorite song on the album, Peace. Cannot stop listening to it. Playing it over and over again.
That's Lily's favorite too.
While I have lots of problems with the album in general, I keep playing that song over and over again on loop, and I love it. It's really, really good.
I would encourage you guys to go on BuzzFeed and like look up like stuff on Folklore, because someone made like if you listen to the album like based on the storyline, like how the songs were listened to. So I did it and like queued it up.
Okay.
And it's a whole different vibe.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
All right.
Yeah, I would, because then you get a clear understanding of like which character is talking and where you are in the story.
That's
and it just gives it like a whole different.
That's fascinating how you're saying that it's like the three different characters. It felt, the whole thing felt very storyteller, because it sounded like it was coming from all these perspectives. And then I was like, is she just coming up with random ideas for her songs? Is this just like a writing exercise? But it's cool that it seems to all come together like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a PSA, you can buy the cardigan on her website.
Oh, really?
I just looked it up.
I want to see this cardigan.
All right.
There was some controversy around the cardigan.
Really?
I don't have enough time to talk about it, but there was, yes.
Interesting. I'm super curious about that.
BuzzFeed gives me so much of my information. It's like a starting
point. BuzzFeed has so many conspiracy theories that it stresses me out.
You can't go down that wormhole. It's dangerous.
I can't.
Damn. Well, I guess we've learned Taylor Swift is a businesswoman. She's killing it. We all need a cardigan.
She's falling off.
Beza needs to get on The Bachelor.
Yes.
A little bit.
And a little bit. And I think I need to listen to this again, watching that BuzzFeed thing, just to see like all the themes throughout. I think that would make me like it even more.
I think so too.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks so
100%.
much for being on. I really appreciate it, guys. This has been
Thank
great.
you guys so much for coming on the show today. We
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having
Of
us.
course. Yeah,
Totally.
thanks for having us.
Have a great day. Stay safe, and maybe we'll have you guys on again sometime. That'd be great.
Yes.
All right.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
easy. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, that was our Taylor Swift Folklore review. Do you agree with it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Cook and the Coach. You can find us on Instagram at Podcast The Cook and the Coach. You can also find us on Twitter at The Cook and the C1. You can find me, the Coach Beza, at Beza, BAEZATENSEIE on Instagram. Ken, what you got going on?
On Instagram, KPMartin2 is my personal page, and Haymarket Catering is my food page. You can also check out my music if you search Kenny Martin Bucket List anywhere music is streaming. So check it out. A lot of stuff.
And then the food truck, where can they find you at?
Yeah, food truck is, I believe it's just Union Hmong Kitchen on Instagram, but you can Google that and you'll find all the information, all of our social media pages. Our Instagram is great, so check that out too.
There we go, guys. Thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Share the word. Keep sharing, subscribing. We love it all. Keep liking it. And we will see you on the next episode.
Goodbye.